Looking for reliable forex analysis? Check out ForexScope for daily forecasts and insights to help you trade smarter. Link in the description and comments.
A tenured law professor at the University of Kentucky has filed a lawsuit alleging his First Amendment and due process rights were violated after being banned from teaching and from the law school following controversial remarks made about Israel. The professor, Ramsi Woodcock, an antitrust law scholar, characterized the State of Israel as a colonization project and advocated for global warfare. Against it, the lawsuit, filed in federal court, asserts that the public university initiated an investigation into Woodcock in July, shortly after his promotion to full professor, based on accusations of violating university policy, including anti-discrimination rules that employ a widely contested definition of antisemitism. This legal challenge is part of a broader wave of backlash against academic institutions concerning their adoption of the International Holocaust Remembrance Alliance, or IHRA, working definition of antisemitism. Numerous faculty members across both private and public universities have faced investigations, and in some instances, termination or forced resignation, due to criticisms of Israel deemed anti-Semitic. This lawsuit stands out as the first brought by a professor against a university that directly questions the constitutionality of the IHRA definition and the application of federal Title V anti-discrimination protections to discourse critical of Israel. A spokesperson for the University of Kentucky clarified that Woodcock has not been suspended but rather reassigned pending the investigation's conclusion. Despite this, Woodcock is barred from teaching, advising students, attending faculty meetings, and accessing the law school building, with professional development being the sole remaining work-related activity he can undertake. The lawsuit contends that Title V cannot constitutionally prohibit criticism of Israel and argues that the IHRA definition is unconstitutional to the extent it proscribes challenging colonial state structures, debating self-determination, or alleging race discrimination and genocide. However, Woodcock's commentary extends beyond mainstream critiques. Even some who defend his free speech rights acknowledge that his views could be interpreted as supporting violence against Israelis. A petition authored by the anti-Zionist legal studies movement, a group he co-founded, unequivocally demands that every country in the world make war on Israel immediately and until such time as Israel has submitted permanently and unconditionally to the government of Palestine, everywhere from the Jordan River to the Mediterranean Sea. In response to the university's initial investigation, President Eli Capelouto publicly denounced the petition as a call for the destruction of a people based on national origin and suggested it threatened the safety of students and staff. Characterizations Woodcock vehemently rejects. Further accusations were leveled against Woodcock in September, with the university alleging he created a hostile environment and engaged in calling for violence against Israel, the genocide of Israeli people and the ultimate destruction of Israel in a manner that uses anti-Semitic tropes. Woodcock countered these claims by drawing parallels to the dismantling of over 80 other Western colonies in the 20th century, questioning whether President Capelouto believed each instance involved the destruction of a people rather than their liberation. University spokesperson Jay Blanton asserted that while freedom of expression is not in question, the university retains the right to express its own views. He stated that if an individual's expressed opinions threaten the safety and well-being of the campus community, the university is obligated to act under Title V of the Civil Rights Act of 1964 to protect its members and to investigate such threats. Attorneys from the Council on American Islamic Relations, representing Woodcock, maintain that the petition constitutes constitutionally protected speech. They argue that Woodcock would have faced no repercussions if he had directed similar critiques at any other nation, including the United States, but that the University of Kentucky has succumbed to hysteria because the criticism is aimed at Israel. A letter from the university, reviewed by media, indicated that the investigation was prompted by complaints from individuals outside the university regarding Woodcock's anti-Israel statements made at academic conferences, on his website, and within private chat groups of the Association of American Law Schools. The investigation is reportedly being overseen by Fernaz Farkash Thompson, an attorney who contributed to the Project 2025 policy blueprint. Thompson has not yet responded to requests for comment. The Kentucky State Senate previously adopted a resolution in April urging public schools to combat anti-Semitism by employing the IHRA definition, which effectively equates certain criticisms of Israel with anti-Semitism. State legislators have welcomed the university's investigation into Woodcock, labeling his remarks as incredibly disturbing. Republican State Senator Lindsey Titchener, a co-sponsor of the resolution and co-chair of the Kentucky Israel Caucus, stated that while Kentuckians expect open debate at public universities, institutions must act when speech devolves into targeted hate, beyond challenging the suspension on free speech grounds. The lawsuit also claims the university violated its own protocols, which previously mandated a showing of immediate harm before suspending faculty. The suit alleges that this policy was subsequently altered after Woodcock raised concerns about its breach, a claim the university denies was linked to his case. Woodcock adamantly rejects the notion that his rhetoric poses a threat to campus safety. He argues that his calls for military intervention against Israel and his assertion that the future of Palestine should be determined solely by Palestinians, including Jews who resided there before significant Jewish immigration began in the late 19th century, are consistent with recognizing Israel as a colonial project, drawing from Algeria's experience in ending French colonial rule. Woodcock, who is of Algerian descent, contends that if Israel has a right to exist, then former colonial states like French Algeria and the British Raj should have possessed the same right. Woodcock denies his stance as anti-Semitic, but acknowledges that his view of Israel as a colonizing power necessitates the state's eventual end. He maintains that the future of the land occupied by Israel should be decided exclusively by Palestinians, who would then determine the legal status of the colonizing population. He further posits that while Palestinians alone should decide this matter to uphold the principle against colonization, it is likely they would extend equal rights to the colonizer population. Alvin Goldman, a retired law professor at the University of Kentucky and self-proclaimed lifelong Zionist, publicly supported Woodcock's free speech rights when the investigation was announced. While Goldman strongly disagrees with Woodcock's characterization of Israel as a colonizer and acknowledges that his views could be interpreted as advocating for the destruction of a people based on national origin, he firmly believes this alone should not warrant disciplinary action or dismissal from a state university. Goldman noted in a letter to the law school faculty and administrators that while calls for Israel's destruction can provoke strong emotional responses, including his own, Woodcock's statements do not qualify as fighting words, a category of unprotected speech. He urged administrators to reverse their decision and instead facilitate opportunities for debate, arguing that faculty have increasingly diverged from the principles of academic freedom and a sound university environment. Goldman asserts that Woodcock's calls for Israel's end are misguided but not anti-Semitic, emphasizing that he is entitled to be wrong.